Hello guys, and welcome to another episode on Race&Tune. I'm Vic, and today we're going to be working on rewiring and fixing the left headlight unit. So what I'm going to show you today is the wiring, how to rewire all the wires, solder them and make them look nice and connect them to the headlight unit. And one of the problems that we will probably run into is the fact that the insurance company I bought the car from cut the wires for the headlight unit, for the low beams, high beams and the blinkers. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do the extensions, solder them to wire extension, and then to the pigtails that are in charge of the bulb of each beam, high beam, low beam, as well as the blinker. So without further ado, I'm going to show you right now, right away, without more talking. Let's get to it. There's one of the wires right here and another one right here. I don't know if you can see it. The other three, actually the other five, two are over here. This tubing, these two wires, the yellow one and the white and black, were also cut. The white and black is the ground, the yellow one was in charge of the high beam. So I already did this and it turned out pretty good. And I ordered the connectors and I did the tubing as well. And this one works fine with the high beams, but for now I'm not gonna show you yet. What I'm gonna do is finish up the blinker, and then I'm gonna actually put few extensions. As you can see, these are very hard to cut right here, right by the fuse box. So I'm going to do this and cut the wires, and then after I have the exposed copper, I'm gonna use my extensions. I bought some extra cable, copper cable, 16 gauge. We're gonna need the electrical tape. For this purpose we will also need the lead, and we also gonna need flux, cable cutters, and this is for exposing the wire. Just cut the outside layer of the wire. Alright, so you're gonna see a little bit of how this has been done. I know there are a lot of videos probably how to solder, but I just thought that it's interesting to show you how to solder your own wires. And I'm gonna do the extensions like I said. I already did the extensions on these three wires. The middle part though, where it connects to the pigtails that I ordered, this is the connector for the blinker. I just tied them up. I haven't, and I put the tubing on, but as you can see they're just tied up. All I have to do is because I just wanted to test them first, so I just tied them up. They were working all fine, so all I have to do is just solder these three, put the tubing, put the electrical tape, make it nice as this one, and proceed with the other two cables. So I'm gonna put you on the tripod, and yep, let's get to it right away. And that is the third cable right here. Looks pretty good, not too sharp. And the other ones are already, this one and this one is already they're both cool down already, and I'm gonna let this one cool down as well. Put some soldering paste, a little bit of flux on the three of them, and then I'm gonna slide the tubings onto the soldered part, and I'm just gonna heat them up, and after that I'm gonna put the tubing, put the electrical tape on it, and should be good to go. Another reason you have to use the paste is that when you're putting these heat shrink tubes, they just slide really easy. When you have the paste, helps it slide in easier than if you don't have, you know, you don't use the paste. And now these, I already put these because I wasn't sure which size it's gonna fit. And be mindful whenever you're doing soldering, you know, unless you shape it perfectly as the width of the cable, you know, you can use the same, you know, you can use smaller ones. So that's why I put the smaller ones, but I also put a little wider heat shrink tube on the other side just in case I can measure it, because I'm pretty sure this is not gonna fit when I slide it, because the soldering side is a little, you know, thicker than the actual cable. So this is not gonna fit, so I can pretty much cut it right here or just leave it like this hanging loose, or I can just, you know, also put it right here next to it and warm it up so it shrinks. Now what I use to shrink these tubes, the heat that I use is, you can use a blow up torch, the one they use for just caramelizing creme brulees, but I'm old school. I use a simple lighter, just a regular lighter. So I'm gonna show you exactly. It does the job, but be mindful, don't point the fire too long over the don't point the fire too long or too close to the heat shrink tube, because you might burn it. It might melt the entire soldered part along with the cables. So you just do it like this, and you keep moving left and right until you see the heat shrink tube shrinks. Then you wait a little bit, and then you do it again, just so you don't burn like I said, burn the cables. Now, to be honest with you, with the torch would be a lot easier, I guess, than with an actual, you know, regular lighter. It might be easier, but see, these I already did them and they look pretty nice and pretty good. So this needs to shrink a little bit over here, a little bit over here, and just really quick move left and right. Don't leave the fire on one spot and keep it on one spot, because that will ruin your heat shrink tube. Okay, and I will do now the next wire. You see that liquid, this is actually the flux coming out of the tube, and that's normal because it melts and the heat pushes it out of the edges. So there's a little spot right here. Just so you know, this is not melted cable, it is the flux that's from the inside. Alright, and that will do it. Alright guys, so the next step would be putting the tubes and electrical tape around the wires so they're protected and safe from corrosion. Alright guys, so I actually went ahead and removed these other heat shrink tubes just so it's neat. I like my cables to be neat and tidy. So the next step we're gonna do is proceed with the tubing. Alright guys, so this is the final work I've done here. The low beams, actually, this is the pigtail that I have, and it's using only 2 wires compared to the one for the blinkers, which is using 3 wires. So I guess I have 2 choices, this one or this one, and we're gonna see what will happen. So I'm gonna proceed with stripping the wires right now. Alright guys, so we already stripped the ground cable. We have enough copper to work with. The next step will be stripping one of these, but in order for me to work better, since these wires were cut so back by the fuse and it's not gonna reach, if I connect these pigtails here, as you can see, they're not gonna reach because the light will be right here somewhere, and that's not long enough. So pretty much I have to make an extension of these with the wire I have, and then we'll continue. So we're going to strip these, connect them to an extension, and then to the pigtails. So without further ado, let's get to it right away. battery already drained out and left the building. So I'll show you really quick what is the final what I've done was the final product from soldering the wires, and we're going to start the car and start the lights and see if the high beams, I already know they work, and the blinkers. So I'm gonna just see if the low beams work. I'm just gonna flip the camera really quick. Alright. And low beams and high beams. Alright, let's go ahead and see. Now also going to turn the hazards on. Alright, we got low beams, high beams, hazards. And on the other side we also have hazards, high beams and low beams. Alright, let's see now. Only low beams and hazards. Low beams and hazards. Alright guys, so I'm gonna show you really quick what it looks like after I finished everything with the wire, with wiring the headlight harness. I put the tubes, the tubings for the wires. I put the electrical tape, and it actually looks really nice. So let me show you. So everything looks almost like OEM, but obviously this is what I did. So this is the one for the blinkers. This is the one for the low beams, and the one for the high beams as well. This one turned out a little longer, but I can always cut it. However, I don't think it's gonna be a problem. I'm just gonna zip tie it all together with the rest of the cables. Alright guys, so that's it basically. Thank you for I hope this was informative and it was helpful for everyone that is everyone's who's trying to get a salvage car and does his own thing, can do his own wiring without buying the entire harness and spending extra money, but with few simple tools. You can just rewire, solder anything that needs to be soldered, and then cover everything with tubing and go through all the steps I did with you. So I hope that was educative and helpful. If you like it, smash the like button. Comment if you didn't like it, or smash the dislike button. It's up to you, of course. And subscribe if you want to watch more of this content, and click the notification bell so you're notified and informed every time we upload a video. Thank you for watching. See you next time.